I am Abhishikth Boas from St. John the Baptist CSI Church, Alua. We are going to meditate on Psalms 4. 73 out of 150 Psalms are written by King David. Psalm 4 is one among them. The heading of the psalm states that it is written to the choir master with the stringed instruments by King David. The core of this psalm is a request to God to hear the prayers. The insights of Psalm 4 are as follows. Why does God hear prayers? We believe that God hears the prayers. Why? The psalm begins with a request to God to hear when we call because God is righteous. This is a faith-based statement on the basis of personal experience of King David. Verse 1 states that God had given relief to King David when he was in distress. Out of this personal experience, King David declares that this is the righteousness of God. God not only hears the prayers, but replies also. Answer from the end of God is there for every prayer. God hears our prayer on the ground of God's righteousness. God replies to our prayers on the basis of God's righteousness. Answer to the prayer is a righteous act of God. Every answer to the prayers reveals God's righteousness. Is it possible to turn God's honor into shame? Yes, it is clearly stated in the verse 2 that there are people who scandal the name of God. These people who do vain actions and tell lies. Through their actions, they turn honor of God into shame in the society. Through our wrong activities and lies, we dishonor the God's honor. Wrongdoers do sin not only against co-beings, but also against God. Stop sinning is the way to honor God. What is the secret to get answer from God to our prayers? Verse 3 proclaims that God sets apart someone for God who are godly. The godly people do have assurance that God hears prayers. The verse demands us to be holy in order to get answer from God. To be holy is a state of not sinning. Not sinning can be possible if we meditate God silently in our hearts. Meditation upon God is the best way to keep ourselves away from doing sins. This is the way to be holy. God hears the prayers and answers to the holy. Verse 4 gives us an assurance on this. Which sacrifices should we offer? The sacrifice of justice is expected from us from God. Verse 5 gives us an insight on this. Not any animals, not money, but justice should be a sacrifice offering to God. This sacrifice should be offered with utter dependence upon God. Justice is the most important factor of faith to keep the sacrifice to please God. Is it possible to dwell in safety? The rest of the verses of the Psalm 4 assert that all goodness come only from God and should not seek anyone to get any goodness. God is the sole source of all goodness in the life. Therefore, the harvest of joy is there in our heart. It is a bliss that remains beyond all the material benefits. Therefore, peacefulness is the result of life. Joy of heart and peace of mind is the result of righteous faith in God. Psalms 4 is a psalm about our prayer and God's answer that leads to joy and peace of life with a great assurance of God's deliverance on the account of God's righteousness.